Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie, and today I am going to talk to you about postpartum hormones. Oh yeah, we're going there. Now, just as a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, okay? I cannot treat, diagnose, etc. This video is purely my experience and the knowledge that I have learned after having 3 children and navigating postpartum recovery multiple times and seeing how my body has responded with each one. So without further ado, let's take a dive in. So like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to treat or diagnose any sort of thing, but if you're like me and you've had children, you've probably gone through hormonal craziness because our bodies go through so much when we have children. And it's a remarkable thing to have a baby. Our bodies growing the child. Pregnancy is a miracle in itself, from conception to labor and delivery. It is remarkable. And then our bodies have to sustain that life and produce milk, and it's just amazing and beautiful, and I just think it's such a great thing. Is it hard? Oh yeah, it's totally hard, but it's worth every second. Now, I am 13 months postpartum, so my daughter is just over a year, and I just got my cycle back like just this week. Just came back, and I was shocked at the difference of it returning this time versus my first and second time. And so I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I did differently this round of postpartum that really helped, and I think that really made a difference. Now, first thing first, I want to say that most of the time when people talk about their cycle returning when they're postpartum, it's miserable. Okay, they talk about their energy levels, their moods, it's just the horrible period. It's just all around miserable when you get your first cycle. Was that my first experience with my oldest? Very, very much so. Was it my experience with my second? 100%. It was, those two experiences were horrible. They were not fun. And getting my cycle, I call her Aunt Flo, when she returned, it was not pleasant. But this time I did a few things very, very differently, and I saw a major difference in my body, my hormones, my energy, my mood, even the bloating and the cramping, minimal. I actually was more in tune with my body and feeling the return versus it just coming out of the blue and feeling like you were hit by a semi truck when you get it first back. So one thing that's really great about being a woman is there are ways we can take care of our bodies naturally. There's essential oils we can use, there's foods we can eat, there's supplements we can take that all are so good for our hormones. Now, if you've had children, it should go without saying that your body gets depleted in minerals. And as women, I'm not going to get into all the science about it because this is going to be a short video, we need minerals. But if you are experiencing things like fatigue, discomfort, mood drops, and other things that go with your mood, I'm not going to say the word because I'll probably get flagged. Anything like that has to do with your emotions and those kind of dropping, you are most likely mineral deficient, majorly. So when you are going through pregnancy, your body is actually needing more minerals. But if you're not taking those, your body is continuously being depleted. Then you give birth, more depletion. Then you breastfeed, more depletion, okay? So minerals are a key thing for supporting your body in your postpartum recovery. And now, that wasn't something I did with my first 2. I didn't really take care to supplement with minerals and making sure that my body was getting what it needed But this pregnancy and postpartum, I did. And my recovery was so much better. Now, two of the things that I did to help my recovery with its mineral depletion, right? Because I'm still breastfeeding. My daughter's 13 months old and I still breastfeed a lot. She eats quite often. And so the two things that I take to help with increasing my minerals and balancing my minerals is a supplement from Young Living called Mineral Essence. Now this supplement, wow, tastes like dirt, but man, does it get the job done. This is remarkable. If you're a female and you've had babies, and if you breastfed, or if you're a woman who's gone through menopause, you need this in your life. So good for you. It is so good for you. Another thing that I took to help with the minerals in my body was Relight hydration. So this is an electrolyte mix, but it's not like your typical electrolytes that you get from the store that are full of sugars and fillers and all these things. This is probably one of the cleanest on the market, and it contains Redmond's salt, and Redmond's salt is so high in trace minerals, and it's extremely good for your body to absorb that, but also for the hydration elements. So between these two, I felt like my minerals were really in a good place, combining these two together. And so it was pretty great. Now, something else that I did this pregnancy or postpartum recovery that I didn't do with my previous was utilizing essential oils to help support my healing and my hormones, okay? And it's pretty crazy what essential oils can do. There are thousands of studies and more continuously coming out about the studies of essential oils and how they work with the female body. Now remember, I'm not a doctor, I can't prescribe anything, but these are the things that I have learned. And now one of the things that I couldn't recommend more is this book called Lucy Libido, and it's all about, there's an oil for that, but this speaks to female health and male health. And this book, the author actually did a study of her own, and she had people use the oils, keep track of things, and so she kind of has her own little study that she did for her book on different oils for men and for women. And so this book was really helpful if you want to learn about just the basics of hormones and female and male health. This is great. It's also really funny. Like, you will laugh out loud when you read this. It's so great. Because one of the things, if you've been watching any of my videos for any length of time, you've also seen that I have lost 40 pounds this postpartum recovery, and I'm continuing to lose more weight because I would like to have more babies. So, but one of the major things that I did differently that I didn't do with my previous two was I started using a few different oils right away. Now with my other two postpartum with my boys, I started using the oils when my cycle returned. I didn't start using them prior. So I used them when, and I think that was part of it, is I didn't start supporting my body and the hormone levels before getting my cycle back. I just like waited. So my body was like, whoa. So what I started doing, and I started almost immediately after I had my daughter, is I started using Progessence Plus, which is a serum that contains wild yam extract. And this was formulated by a doctor actually, who's an expert in female health. I'll put all the information of that below in the caption. And this is designed to naturally support your hormones, your progesterone levels, and all of those things, your mood, etc. So I've been using this every single night. So I use 3 drops, just put it on my forearms every night. And I started using that right away. The other oil I started using right away after I had my daughter was Endoflex. And this oil, Endoflex, endocrine, right, kind of, you can see through the name, its purpose. And I use this on my thyroid every single morning. I don't miss a morning. I put it on every single day. It smells so good. Both of them smell so good. And this also helps support my hormones. And so by using those, 13 months later, here we are. And a couple days ago, I was just like, like, it was just, I felt like something was happening. And I had a very slight cramp, like very slight. It was like right before bed. I was like, that feels like, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is so painful. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like debilitating. It was very mild. Like, I bet you Aunt Flo is gonna return. Lo and behold, a few days later, she came to visit. Okay, and so that just goes to show, like, even my mood, usually when the cycle returns, postpartum, there's a huge mood drop, and there's so many things associated with our cycle returning, like discomfort and just frustration and all sorts of things, even sleep and energy levels. I felt really good. Actually, last week, like leading up to my cycle, I was like, it felt like a normal week. I didn't feel any woo-woos and craziness. I just felt very balanced. And that is these two oils together, okay? But now, so now that I have had my cycle return, what do I do in case of discomfort? Lavender and peppermint. These two, I haven't had any discomfort, but if I do, because you never know, right? These two, a couple drops of each in my hand, and I'll rub them on my abdomen and on my lower back, and those will help with the discomfort like nothing else. I haven't taken any sort of anything to take discomfort away in years, because I just use these. So, and then the next oil that I'll start using now that I have my cycle back, these were the two that were key to start right away, okay? Now, something that I will be using, and I started using this before I had my daughter, so I saw the benefits of using this blend, Lady Scalariol. I started using this blend before I had my daughter, and when we were trying to get pregnant and conceive, I started using this blend to support my libido levels, and I think this oil is amazing to add to your cycle. And if you know your cycle well, and you know when your ovulation is and different things like that, I will use this oil I'll use this after my period. So I will actually start this oil after my cycle finishes, and then I will use it throughout the month. And then when I get my cycle, I won't use it during my cycle. So this one really helps with libido levels and just kind of the boost of mood in that department. So I'm really excited to start adding this back in to my hormone regimen. Now, like I was saying, essential oils, supplements, all these things, lifestyle, make a huge difference. Something that I did differently with this postpartum recovery was also just focusing on good nutrition, lots and lots of water, and I was going for walks. Going for walks can be one of the best things you can do for your bodies and your hormones. There's so many studies done out there on walking and hormones. Now, I'm not a doctor, like I said, and I'm going to link some studies below that you can read that are fantastic on hormones and walking, that are just great reads, and I highly recommend just going for walks. Get yourself a walking pad if you don't, if there's lots of bad weather and if it's hard to get out, get yourself a walking pad and just get in those 10,000 steps. They make a huge difference. Now, I'm just really blown away here, guys. Honestly, I'm so blown away that I got my cycle back, and I have been just so level, so balanced, so level, and just so relaxed. Because usually my previous two experiences with getting on Flo when she's returned have not been pleasant. So I want to encourage you, if you are a postpartum mom and you are like dreading the return of Aunt Flo, let me encourage you there are ways that you can support your body that don't have to be crazy expensive or anything like that. They're simple and they're actually going to benefit your body as it continues to give to your child or children if you have more than one, because I have more than one. So I want to just encourage you with that, and thanks for tuning in and watching this short video of how we can support our postpartum bodies as they heal and as they continue to support our child. Catch you next time. Again, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to stay in the loop on everything happening at the Henderson house. Bye guys.